So, like, I do have respect, and I think your voice is valuable here. And I also think that my power in the community, my flex with the legal stuff, unfortunately, that I had to do, and then other things like just the viral eyes, I have not clout that I wanted and not anything that's helpful to me, like, emotionally, but, like, when I have to fight back right now, yeah, I'm a little bit of a force right now. And I'm not saying I knew that was going to happen. It just kind of developed that way. So, yeah, I can help if you want me to. Okay, so for starters, Francis, if you identify and you have concerns with how your father literally treated women, you're not the problem, okay? However, though, I'm not naming names, but I have a real good example of someone who is still not very good at awareness. They're clearly resentful of their upbringing of a male figure that was the problem, but their worst moments embody that. And I mean, honestly, my mom's my fucking trauma. Okay, and maybe when I get real nasty, I'm similar to her, but you know what, I'll still say the difference with my mom and I don't know, my mom is, I don't even want to get into all that. I'm just saying, if you can identify it and you're a little bit upset about it or very disgusted by it and avoiding being like that, do you really think you're the problem? That's a compliment. Think about that. That's a logic thing, okay? I'm just saying, think that through for a second. And as for the situation with that thing I just liked, I don't want to talk about it really much because it's just, I don't hold it against them because, like, honestly, like, the pressure we've all been under, it's by design meant to push people into either fear or hatred that I'm present, whether it's my fault or not. That's, again, under the thematic base of domestic violence, coercive control, isolating all resources, smearing an image into no supporting base that you otherwise would have had as a victim. They basically want you to have no stability or base, and that's literally, although, again, digitally distributed now by others, still even whatever way it was, whether it was the hacks or the income or the GoFundMe stalking or my family getting harassed to the point that they're like, even though they'd followed and they knew I wasn't crazy, often told me I wasn't. In the scariest moments, I'm left alone, man. And listen, I don't know if you know me and my music, but I'm a Parker Cannon girl, and Parker Cannon saved my life. Okay, no, for real, like, jump the gun, like, okay, well, for starters, that last fucking album is so weird to me. Like, it came out, like, the fucking month that I went homeless, okay? And, like, I've listened to that band since I was in Ohio. It literally helped me get out of Ohio, and it got me through my 20s in my home that was taken from me. So all I'm going to say is that, like, jump the gun. Let's see. So if you're done, then get out. Leave me on my own. We'll figure it out, or I'll figure it out. So basically that's my life motto, and that was the one thing that didn't remind me of, like, Nick and Chicken and, like, all the evil people online last year with the album. But minus that, that's what that album was, like, literally to it. Oh my god, even, like, fucking, like, Watch You Go. I let the outside voices lead me the wrong way. There's no success without. I don't want to even get cheesy and bitch-like with you because I'm a girl. But also, though, I'm just saying, like, yeah, no, I will literally just fucking walk off. I don't burden people. I get my shit handled. And at that point I was at, that pisses me off the most. I had been to a point where there were so many things to fall back on. Had one or two been fucked with or just accidentally messed up, I would have been fine. That was the point. But no, with no cause of any justification that was legal or fair or human, somehow people literally became profiting for some reason off of it or another. Either clout, you know, validity when maybe they needed a group to feel good in. I mean, pathetic stuff. Bitches that I rejected. You know what I noticed, Francis? You know I don't always respond right away, Avi. I have a life. Also, like, I'm not telling everyone online what they think. The skies are blue, bro. Like, when I tell people that I'm doing other things in my head that I am, I don't know why they fight me so hard, because I'm actually not sure what anyway, my point. My point is that people, I get it, but I think there's a little bit of a dissociation with humanity with me, because I don't think even I can really quantify that all that happened just did. And yeah, a lot of what's happening is hard, and I've been forced to kind of take accountability and change. And in my 20s, I moved out when I was 18, and then my mom and I were good. And you know what? I had to sacrifice for that. I don't know if you can see how much Abigail means to me, and I've had a lot of pets, and I love them all of them, every bit. They are all special, but Abigail and my horse, they're kind of two of my soul pets that I've had, and there's another one, my grandma's cat, when I was a baby and kid. But I'm just saying, my horse, due to me absolutely cutting ties with anything abusive with my mother due to control with money, because I didn't want to have that relationship with her, so I took care of it. I moved the fuck out. I danced. I was a general manager. I went to college. And then I went to Warped Tour. Oh my God, I literally not go to sleep. I took a lot of Adderall. But I still passed all my courses. It was just fucking, bare minimum bones at Akron U. But I'm just saying, like, did anyone I know want to tell me that I'm the problem while they're sitting on their ass? When did you guys accomplish that? And I'm not saying it's that much, but actually that's my point. Why are they so mad that even control it with a fake fucking degree shit? Like, girl, you ain't been through shit. You sitting on your dad's fucking chair. And while my family has helped me, I don't think I've stayed with them. Well, she could literally be out on her own by now with all the shit she's just denied, like being grateful for. Like her kid that wanders around the background while she's stalking me for no reason, even though nobody cares she breathes unless she's literally just stalking me. And even then it's the worst of the worst because they're the people I ban that have nobody else. They're weird. I don't get it. All I'm saying is that all I'm fucking saying with all that is I'm just saying, like I can weigh things out, and I'm a gray kind of an area shade kind of girl. Also, I don't know if you saw, maybe you'll get a hint if you see my last live, like watch the last 10 minutes maybe. Unfortunately, no matter what I do right, it's going to get twisted by the people that just hate me to exist because they don't want to live their lives, but they hate that I do. I don't get it. It's weird. They're all weird. I digress. But if you listen to the end of that last fucking live I have posted, like, I left it up. I ain't going to say some shit, but that was not my choice. And I've tried to prevent, like, public fucking twisting of anything that I know, even though it's not my fault, I didn't think someone else wanted to have seen. You just listen to it. Notice my tone not changing and me not engaging in the reactivity of the fucking aggressive tone of no reason. You'll see. It's way worse though sometimes. Also, just there's like a fucking childish element of like, I just hate when people that have like things to be grateful for that won't do better shit on people trying who have less to just have at least the same level of like respect. I don't know, man. I just know men who have cried over things that I've had to literally 400 times more powerfully been told to shut up for and not have an emotion about, when they're allowed to call me horrible things and do and say and act so dismissively about very high IQ things they can't follow that I have to follow, and I apparently do validly. And yes, I fixed it, but no, I don't get a break. I don't get to celebrate that I made it better. Did you? No, you just gave up because it was too hard. I'm just saying, when am I the fucking retard to be spoken to that way? And then also, like, yeah, I've been very grateful and appreciative, but I'm also I know who I am, and I know what I can do, and I know what my intents are. At this point in my life, I don't hate myself for things, and you know what? I know that this was a whole spiritual journey, all of this. I don't know how much was involved with this last year, but it felt like there might have been a little bit there. Also federal element. But, like, ultimately, at the end, it was just about me and Nick, and that was all I cared about, and I did get that piece, so that's fine. But the rest was weird, and why? No, but the fucking, the spiritual element with all this, so I don't know, man. I think that some of these things were, like, aligned for a reason, and maybe even if they're horrible, like, now there's a way I can help someone in the future with something I've always hated, and I don't think God gives people burdens that if they can't carry them, they wouldn't have to, but I just don't know, man. Maybe it was a test, but my thinking is that, like, I've never wanted to live for myself. And I was, like, literally bedrotting to a point where, dude, I don't like, that's not me. How did they, after seeing me for so many years, really convince themselves they'd really get me to believe that was me? And that I was on meth. It wasn't trauma and mental fracture and harassment constantly. And my life being debased for nothing. Absolutely nothing. In the most direct, sadistic ways. Yeah, no, every morning it was something else. And then people around me helping me were scared of me. And why would I not be losing my mind? Yes, it's meth. All of it's meth. Meth? Meth? Chomo? Meth. Meth. Hey, what's 5 plus meth? Yeah, anyways, my point is, like, that's all they have. And they didn't want to listen or care that they'd witnessed the things that caused me to get in that state of mind. But, dude, I don't even want to talk about it. I was fat as fuck. I've never been over 10 pounds heavier than 145. And, oh, my God, like, what? And then it just disappeared overnight when I got my brain back. Because I fought for my sister and Purple and his dad. And I've been... my sister, even when it got scary, she follows it all. She just... Instead of just, like handling it with me because I had to, and she knew I was alone otherwise, and I was doing it for her while she was terrified, doing nothing. Not mad at that, but just saying, all these people that are complaining, and I have to deal with it, and it's horrible, and I've been through a lot harder shit. I'm not allowed to cry. I'm, like, yelled at for it. Trust that. The same people that babble all the time. Oh, goddamn. If I have an emotion, I'm annoying. I'm frustrating. But for fuck's sake, when I just have to blindly, like, ignore babble from no substantial cause to be babbled, when I'm literally doing the work of 5 people in my brain and can't focus anyways, I still don't say anything. But yeah, I'm not the one hitting people, and I'm not the one, like, literally deliberately provoking things. Yeah, no, shit sucks. It's by design, though. And no, my whole literal point is, though, that I think this was God's lesson to me, to live the fuck finally for once in my life for myself, because I was dying. I was in hell. I was not okay in my heart, soul, anything, dude. Nothing was right. Nothing was mine. I don't know who I am even now, but I have some of them. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be the same, but, like, whatever that was stripped of my real, actual reality and my own self-confidence, even though deep down I knew I was able to handle these things, and I was valid in being traumatized. All I'm saying with all that is that I'm saying that, like, I think this was, like, the first time in my life I fought for myself, but it didn't even start out that way. I was bedrotting. I was emotionally getting to the point I think I probably would have been institutionalized severely if I would have let it go much longer, or maybe a decent amount longer, and the worst didn't keep happening. I was just in almost like this weird loop of, at least I didn't have to worry because I was here and I had shelter and stuff, and that was okay. And Abby was with me, so the worst of the worst I felt safe with. So that's when those are the moments that when if stuff's really hard, but not so hard that I'm dying. Like, does that make sense? Like, it's a constant, like, low level stress, or a bunch of low level, or a lot of mid low. I'm just saying, like, I've been through periods of my life where I've been low key like that for a week or two. That was a season or two. No, that was 9 seasons. It started when I decided to leave him, and then all of those things happened much worse, and then I could not. Like, I was just eating because it was like, well, why else? Like, what else is my brain going to do to shut it out? And it was cool, and I didn't give a fuck, and that was weird. It was all surreal. And then, like, all of this was surreal, the whole thing. But it was, like, my identity. Nothing that was mine that I knew I worked so hard for. Nobody wanted to look at me for who I was, even people who knew me that should have, because they were scared. My sister called me crazy when I got hacked, and I told her, because she was the one following it all, and she knew I was right, and she apologized. But I'm just saying, people that are I don't know, for whatever reason in my life, I've had to deal with things that I have to be way stronger than anyone else around me for. And it took me a while until my adulthood to even realize, like, as a child, yeah, dude, I just had weird extremes of ups and downs in my life that my siblings don't relate to. Although I was, like, grown up in the structure of a normal middle class, like, work, be kind, do you, and then just, like, kick it when you're able to, and just be good while you can, and, mind your own. That's my fucking normal family. They don't like drama, and I mean, I get involved in drama, but I'm telling you, I really don't ask for it, and I hate it. I've always been someone that attracted people that just want to provoke things. I don't know what that even means, though. I don't know if it's because people think I'm a retard, or if they're jealous for whatever reason that I don't even have to, like, agree with why. Some of these people have way more than me or look better. I don't know. Why are people even jealous to begin with? No, that's why a lot of these fucking Carterverse bitches got together with the incel horrible misogynists on IP2. They literally are bitches, like Controlla, Kat Strino, many more that I didn't even realize until later. I just forgot to respond to them because I had real life going on. Bitches, you fat whales, goddamn, and I was never a fucking ball. At least I had a shape, and they ain't still fucking, I was never as heavy as them, ever. And I still don't know why they were so excited I got a little chunky. Because, yikes, at least I had a body still. I digress. These whores, much worse than me and more pathetic, retarded, and useless at anything, even being bad. The most pathetic women that send nudes that don't even get remembered to be open, such as Minette. And the same ones that, like, literally have never half had to deal with what I'm dealing with, so they don't even have any valid advice. And yet, because it became trendy, and they, like, were my bestie initially, because I guess that just they felt like they could get something out of it, not because they wanted to be good people. And now they're just really bad, pathetic pick-me's, and it shows, and I'm just like, haha, goddamn, I'm so can't relate. Yikes, no wonder you guys hate yourselves. But yeah, no, anyways, I'm done with all this babbling, but, like, no, this was all, like, a lesson to me to, like, at first, I got out of my mental state with the bedrotting era because my sister was crying and my nephew was fucked with. My grandma's docs came out in Controlla's chat, and then Nick started the Bean. He asked his viewers to send me audio of her, like, described how she died. I didn't ever allow those. I scammed, obviously, but yeah, he very verbatim, clearly described how she was seizing and, like, foaming at the mouth, and how her eye, he literally remembered, and he didn't care. And he mocked it as if she didn't, like, have a reason to not have to go through that and why it traumatized me so much. He was there pretending to care. And he didn't draw that line until more recently. I'm still not convinced he wasn't possessed. And that this isn't a spiritual level of a few things. But anyways, I'm just saying. I lived through myself finally after people stopped really, even that I had been fighting for, kind of started to give me credit for things I was very valid with and very justified on having respect with, and I'm not getting that right now. So all I'm saying with that long, short point over, this is a spark note of it all. Not ideal what happened, but also not something I consider typical or a normal state of vibes, but this person that punched me really needs to help themselves, like, fucking control their temper and, like, grow the fuck up. I'll be real, and I've said that, and I will. And I record things so people can look at it later. But I don't post it, or you would see it. So when did I become this person? And I don't blackmail people. I'll tell them I got it. That's it, you know? So there's, like, and this is just an example. I'm not going to type anymore. It's too much for me right now. Also, it's almost 10. I got to get off here soon. I'm just actually being, like, I really am enjoying conversations that aren't stupid and pointless. And I'm kind of mad because I can't really just finish fun things I could talk about for hours. Otherwise, as a person that has rights as a person, I would have babbled about things with you for hours. I got a lot to say. I'm just saying, like, for example, I'm sure you're not a retard. You can figure out there's more than just these examples. But yeah, like, for example, like, the legal stuff that I want to focus on, I'm not thinking that's something you need to want to focus on either. I'm just saying, for example, say there's other creators that are maybe either more knowledgeable than me or experienced and or as passionate and morally aligned, which I think you and I are with some of this, which is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be about, what I'm saying is it can be anything that you want to talk about that you might have some mid-level understanding of where I'm at with it, and same. Maybe stuff we can just learn from each other that maybe could actually also, like, help bring awareness to things that maybe people need to see in the community. You know what I'm saying? Is you're connecting dots. I can't, but I have the platform and the respect, even if it doesn't look like that. I actually do. I do. And even though it was hard, and it still is, with people that are supposed to be my only resource to rely on, really making it hard and my stress levels unnecessarily and unfairly worse for nothing other than bad communication and their luxury of life while I have nothing, and people are mad because I'm not the one in control of the resources at this point. I should be. I would be. If I were, like, no delays in communication would be absolutely guaranteed. But since I'm not, like, when do you guys want to not, like, look at me as the problem and directly contact each other? Anything that, when did I have to be the fucking goddamn fucking superwoman? I'm mom, I'm the doctor, I'm God, I guess. But I'm not treated like God. I'm not respected like that. I'm just a machine. Yeah, anyways. So we could talk about anything. I want to really get into the elemental base of the court system with victim stuff, which is actually, like, the most boring, tedious, and actually, no, you know what the most worst part is? Francis, I did, and I don't do this ever. There was a point, like, right before Nick's trial, thank God, because I had to check out for 3 days in my mind and just watch Teen Wolf. And then the morning of, I puked the whole morning, and it was just, like, a mess. But, that was horrible, and I was freaking the fuck out, and I just prayed. And I said, at this point, I have done more than enough, and I'm just hoping God is there. And somehow he was. My point, though, is the DV stuff isn't the worst part at the base level, but the victim stuff in any type of violence or crime case, the problem that I have is that, like, they are established born human rights in this country, and they should be anywhere. But, like, I think that the law is kind of like, it's kind of like a general, like, on record establishment of moral and social, like, acceptance of what's right and wrong. Because, like I said earlier, people that might just be flawed and getting in on the wrong thing for the wrong reasons, but not necessarily making them dead yet, they can always have redemption arcs, which is why I kind of try to give even Eric AF and Victoria chances. Seriously, people don't give me those chances, but I know that if the people that deserve them get them and see me for that, I'll get that from them. That's loyalty. That's cool. I give respect, get respect kind of a person, for real. And often I do it too much in the beginning, even when people don't give it to me. But I'm never giving credit for that. But either way, my point is, because my bite is so vicious, I don't even want to bring it out unless I have to, you know. But the elemental, like, victim stuff, DV or not, male or female, but mostly, of course, DV and female. I'm just saying, generally victim stuff. It's, well, that's the point of a victim status, right? Unless it's, like, a physical robbery. Even still then, they could have taken your credit cards and fucking deleted all your money. I'm just saying, like, they do, as a victim, generally, like, and statistically, I mean, there's talks about this everywhere. All I'm saying that there's no reason that someone like me, who absolutely had rights to peace, had all the evidence I did in every other city helping me without the one state next to the FBI, who I spoke to also directly and were aware. And one was amazing, the other was weird, and I still don't know what's going on with that. I want to tell you another story, but I know they are not against me. I'll tell you that much. And I know that one guy was genuine, the first one. I just don't know what that weird shit with the next lady was about. Anyways, my point is, I had another contact with that man, and I didn't make the phone call, and it wasn't just him talking to me. And I don't know more than much, honestly, I really don't, but I have conjecture based off things, and no others do know for sure. I'm just saying, like, yeah, no, the FBI is not necessarily friend, but they're not foe. But they were a weird elemental thing that I wonder how much my rights were maybe bypassed for something else involving my ex with. Again, we've talked about some of this. I have no idea beyond that. I really don't. But my point being, though, like, basically every single thing done to me, it was absolutely a violation of my human rights, period. Much less actively as a warranted abuse criminal of mine from Arizona, simply evading. What, he manipulated me? This is the thing I regret, was undoing that order for him last summer, because I don't know, it was just used for such drama with content, which pissed me off, because, like, I didn't ask to be homeless, and he claimed that's what he wanted. Also, he intentionally did all that to me. Yeah, dude, I don't want to sleep in my car, and you wanted to sleep on the streets. Go fucking sleep on the streets. Don't weaponize my valid order of protection against you, because you're a piece of shit. Also, in Arizona, there were no verbal gags, because they don't have that law here, or there. Although they did try in other ways to apply to civil laws they had traditionally already established. Not the point, they tried, but it wasn't a state that was prepared litigation-based wise there. Again, like, a lot of this, I think many of us with souls know it's wrong. It's just that, like, what I've studied, this is so fun to me. Like, this is the research part and the constructive part, right? So all I'm saying before I babble about what is really cool to me about all this, and what's really sad, because I'm not going to do that to you tonight, but one day. That's the type of thing I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be shit about me or you, unless we're just, like, we can bring some level of, like, experience, relation, or education on it, whatever that may be, even just in theory, like, if we studied something. I don't know, anything current, recent, urgent, morally ignored or dismissed that we can address as a public awareness, saying that you are going to be smart and probably have things I don't understand or can't connect. But also I'll have other situations where I'm like, we can join forces. Like, can we make something good and, like, enjoy, like, fucking being online? We have a right to be there. That's my whole point. That was my entire point. Okay, so two things again, with the violent, the DV stuff, and just rights as a human people on the internet. Right now we have an undefined narrative on who gets to control that online, and a new society with a generation that's not even in legal power yet. Like, that's our age group, mine and younger. Anyone just knowing this is their everything and still mentally underdeveloped enough, even after the housing crash, because that was what I noticed. So the housing crash is interesting too. I graduated right after it, right after it, and I didn't know, because I kept different kinds of jobs and hustles. My mind was elsewhere, and I was off the internet mostly, so I didn't socialize much on it. I did connect with people, like, directly, and I did the fucking Snapchat filters, but I didn't do anything, or I was just watching other people live their lives online. I had one, but we could literally bring up any topic that you're comfortable diving into, and we can also avoid triggering, like, affiliations if you don't want to address things as, like, your direct issue, because of anything you're passionate about that I can maybe bring to light that I would be interested in. Just good stuff, not bad stuff. Let's make shit, not break it. I mean, otherwise, what's the point of all this? Also, like, I do think that, like, you are valuable, just period, with your thoughts. You're not, like, a piece of shit that's just trying to hurt people. You're also a little weirdo, and I think you're funny as fuck, but goddamn. You scare the fuck out of Victoria, and you should probably talk to just be normal with her. She ain't like that, right? She ain't like that. Even with me, I think what it is, it's funny, because with me, like, I think she won't talk to anyone, but she'll... Alright, you can never say this out loud. We talk quite often, but not as much as I would like to, because honestly, I would like to help her more. And what she does is she does stuff that kind of I do when I'm stressed, but, like, that poor thing has no clue how bad this is and why, because she just got into it. I had 4 years of absolute adoration and respect on the internet publicly before my ex, was weaponizing his abuse towards me that was absolutely not valid. She didn't get shit. She got 5 seconds of manipulation from Nick's people, and the second she showed a free thought, woo, did they want to destroy her life? And it ain't fair. And I'm kind of protective of her right now too, actually. But like, yeah, what was I gonna say with that? Anything we can do that's good, not bad. And these people that like don't want a level playing field, like, oh yeah, you want to hear a story? I'm not gonna deep it. If you're a Fed, you'll know, maybe. Okay, so check this. Hold on real quick. I'm going to tell you one story. I'm not ignoring your messages either. I'm actually just having a good conversation, and sometimes I tangent. BRB, hold on. I want to tell you. You might be interested. Actually, hey, translate this one for me. Hang on. Okay. I have to ask you this. So. I just read your last. Oh my God. Francis, okay. You're funny, and I'm not trying to hit on you, and I don't want that right now, and I don't want it really with anyone. Maybe get hip if I'm drunk, because he's hot, but I really don't want anything. I don't think you get me like that. Like, I'm literally the most platonic, like, non-sexual person ever. And then if I love you and you have dick, because I really don't like vagina. I've tried it once. Ew, why do you like those things? Ew, fucking pussies are gross. Literally, fuck that. Ew, I like dick. Also, I don't care about dick being the number one priority, and I ain't like that. I'm literally on a cognitive, mental only level with you right now. I'm down, like, nothing in between. But if you're fucking joking, also like, no, for no, that's funny as fuck. Whatever satire you had with that, or like, I know that wasn't directly just like serious, but it was also funny as fuck. Oh my God, you're funny, and you're such a weirdo. Like, I don't think people get you. They don't get me. So like, why would that shock me? No. I enjoy talking to you. I was hoping that we could just do something in the community that was productive instead of reductive, you know? And if there was anything that you ever wanted to try and help spread light on, anything. I mean, I'm not going to babble about the legal stuff anymore. There's a lot of pros and cons to it that I found a lot fun. And I'll tell you right now, the base level of absolute denial of resources to people already by crime and notify. It's the point of the fucking reason people go to court in family DV. Because they're literally isolated and they have no resources, and they had rights that were taken from them to have those resources. And yet you don't have enough for a lawyer, and you don't have the education to be one. And yet then if you try, you have to try 5 times, and you lose work, and you can't pay bills, and suddenly you can't do the bare minimum. And that's gross. Because if you don't do it technically right, the right stuff won't get to the judge. So that was my point with the DV base part, or the victim elemental basic part in court systems. That's disgusting. It breaks my heart. It's discussed constantly with nothing ever really done. I mean, there's like small leniencies. Like I said, it's way more technical in civil, and DV is a little bit more lenient. But that's even with just all the other courts being easy with me. Even with the corruption here, though, it was still like the little things that weren't technically perfect, they let them go if they had to with me, if I made a scene. But the civil stuff, I don't think it's going to be that easy, so I got to be perfect, and I got to get back to that soon. But my point is, though, no, for real, that's the gross part. There's another gross part, which was basically that there's all sorts of parts, but the number one thing that was like the contrast is like, oh yeah, the filing part. Oh yeah, when I was going to the filing part made me literally punch myself in the face. Francis, I'm not retarded, but you know what I don't like? Staring at papers, putting 2 of the same types organized back to back exactly in a stack of other papers, and then having to shorten 2 years of absolutely overwhelmingly obsessively never-ending amounts, including to this moment I'm sure I'm missing very critical evidence that I don't and shouldn't have ever had to need. Okay, that never should have happened, period. But here we are, and still why? Absolutely retarded. Also, so much disturbing shit that I have that wasn't taken about turds initially and will be in this hearing. And the other thing I noticed is that the judges really are the ones you want to get shit to, and that was who they try to get me. Like when my shit, like my hack, removed some of my unknown to them other secret special places with very hopeful but very intentional pointed storage that nobody knew about. Yeah, no, I had all of it, but yeah, it was weird and scary. That, like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, no, the fun part, though. The fun part is the debating part with legal theory. So, like, especially new law, which is, like, again, with the 2008 housing shit. Okay, so I graduated then. I didn't notice. But what I looked up when I was looking up, like, kind of which states had these cyber-type definitive legal boundaries yet established or starting, it doesn't look like... Okay, they were focusing on it in, like, early to mid 2000s. But then, like, the housing bubble crashed. And it looks like, of course, like, why wouldn't, like, legal focus be put onto like economic issues then instead. Obviously, it was a priority, I would imagine, or just all people were interested in. Maybe if it was just that low level, I think it was just a priority too. I mean, the economy fucked up. You know, I didn't notice it. I danced. I was a general manager. I was barely leaving the house. Like, I don't know how many people in my exact generation, like that era of high school, would have really realized what was going on. Because what happened with my specific age group, again, I'm the beginning of social media gen with the barely prepubescent, very core developmental eras. And this is all I know. It's all I translate. And then when the real world had to be truly admitted that it wasn't possible as accessible for us, we were able to mentally redevelop, whereas anyone Purple's age or older was above that threshold. They're a little mentally stunted in my eyes because this isn't the world they were developing in that they thought was going to be the way it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm babbling again, so I'm gonna get off. But I have fun, and I do want to talk to you. And we could talk without anything funny, or we could also talk about things that are funny. But like real talk, though, I'm not looking for shit right now, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make anyone uncomfortable. Minus get hep is so hot.